First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.
Hello. Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for BDElite live on Twitch.
Twitch.tv/upNXT podcast. Yes, hello Twitch room. How are you doing?
Hello Twitch room. Yes, and wherever you found us on whatever podcast app you're listening to us on. So hey, thanks. You could be anywhere in the world. And you chose to be with us. How are you doing? We are your Dynamates on a Wednesday night. We just watched the end of an era, but beginning of a new one of AEW, all in one day. But wow, I mean, we know we talked a lot about NXT, of course, on upNXT last night, but we also talked a lot about the Cody Rhodes stuff. That's definitely in this ballpark here with AEW. But what have the dirt sheets been saying one day removed?
Well, yeah, it's not a work. However much people might have thought it was, it's definitely not a work. Cody's gone. Brandy's gone. Some quite interesting reports out there. There was the stuff that Wade Keller reported about kind of Cody's bus. A lot of people having an issue with Cody's bus and kind of, I don't know, it's sort of, we've talked about this Cody character for quite a while, and we've been saying, like, is it just him kind of being sort of super meta? Is he kind of, because we talk about the pyro and his bus and his mansion and all that kind of stuff. And it seems like it's maybe a bit of a reflection on the actual person itself. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with having a bus, but, you know, kind of, yeah, sort of being, how should I put it? Like acting like this absolute megastar and maybe kind of focusing very much on himself rather than looking at everything else. And it sounds like maybe it possibly got a few backs up there, and with all these new signings and stuff, can you do you really need to keep around a Cody Rhodes at this stage and a Brandy to go with it, because it is a kind of package deal, I guess?
Oh no, not Brandy. Take my life, but don't take away Brandy from AEW. Yeah, it's crazy because this guy was like a pivotal. He was a part of this. He was the guy, one of the guys behind this place. And now that it seems like he's left, and it's almost like he's taking his ball. He got tired of being booed. He got tired of being looked past. He got tired of, I don't know, maybe not getting his contracts matched with other people. So I guess he figured he's in the good books of some people in WWE. Hey, maybe he takes Triple H's spot for NXT. You know, maybe he has a specific spot ready for him there in WWE, and it's second to Roman Reigns.
I mean, we'll see.
Third.
But there was a quote that kind of said from apparently Tony Khan describing a lot of his segments as a car wreck. But they drew ratings, so he was kind of cool with it. And yeah, like a lot of these figures, a lot of the discussion we've been having over the last couple of years about Cody and his presentation, about how he's really a heel who's trying to play a babyface. It's interesting reading. I don't have it all in my head, but I do recommend people going out and reading a lot of these reports, and I'm sure most of you have, because they're quite interesting, and I do think we've seen a lot of it unfold, and we've heard a bit about kind of possible tension, friction between like the EVPs in AEW. And I don't know. I think WWE, I'll be really interested to see how they treat him. I can't really see him getting creative control over there. I don't think many people do. I don't see why Vince would feel he should give a Cody Rhodes creative control over there. But I am
Doesn't
interested
Vince
to see what he does.
Yeah, sorry, but doesn't Vince like when you almost leave him and show your worth and then come back? He has a track record of that. Like anytime someone's like almost like denied him and kind of gone against him and then kind of made themselves their stock even bigger, Vince has always been like, all right, like he knows. Like when I saw Bret Hart back years later, I was like, this guy will do anything. This guy will let anyone come back. There's like,
but Bret
Cody
was
hasn't
a
done
big star in WWF before he left. You know, Cody was running around in gold face paint.
Sure, but you know what? Cody was still a star, but yeah, nowhere near like the top guy.
He was a stardust.
Yeah, I would like to see him wrestle with some certain people. I do find just very, very weird. I if you've listened to the show, I'm a huge Cody fan. I still never quite understood what he was doing, but part of me thought he was doing this long-term thing. He keeps saying that something that's never been done before. Well, it's like now you're going back to WWE. You're giving the AEW reason, the fans in AEW a reason to boo you for sure. So when you come back in, I don't know, 2-3 years, I'm sure this character will be continuing. I'm sure he'll still be wrestling.
I don't think it's a character. You know, like
it's himself.
We've
It's
been
himself.
questioning all this time. Is he like doing this long, massive work, or is he a bit delusional? And I think maybe he's just a little delusional. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I think the guy has obviously AEW probably wouldn't be around without Cody kind of taking that risk 6 years ago, leaving WWE and forming with the Bucks and the Elite and doing All In and all that. Look, I'm not knocking the guy, but I think when this kind of baffling storytelling we've been seeing the last few years, I do think it's more so him seeing himself as this huge babyface in real life rather than him doing some elaborate work where he's been portraying himself in this way, but he is really a heel, which a lot of us have been questioning back and forth all this time. But it's crazy. This was a huge news. We talked about it a bunch yesterday, and I am fascinated to see how they present him. I think regardless, he's going to be a bigger star in WWE than when he left WWE. But are we talking about a world champion, or is he going to be a shiny new toy for a couple of weeks and then very quickly kind of fall back into his role he had years ago? I don't know. I think WWE need stars right now. I think they need people who talk. Whenever I do sit down and watch a Raw or something, it's really quite embarrassing watching a lot of these people trying to kind of recite these lines that they've been given, and in these lines that just don't sound like human beings talking, and then you'll get someone like an Edge on the mic and you go, oh yeah, there we go, remember when it used to be like this, or you're kind of even Miz talking, that kind of thing. I think Cody's definitely, we always say, like, he could read us a telephone book and he'd sell us on it. You know, he's a fantastic promo, and he's a good wrestler, and is at this point a bona fide star. But is Vince going to let him be presented that way or not? I don't know. I'm totally curious, and I'll certainly be watching Elimination Chamber this weekend, and will probably tune into Raw live this week, which I can't say is anything I've done for a long time, especially with it being like UK time over here. But I do want to see what happens. I'm very curious.
Yeah, look, I cannot stand a Raw, a SmackDown. It's been a very, very long time. But bringing in some characters like this, maybe a storyline, a certain angle that works really well. I'm sure Cody's been thinking of stuff, and maybe so have they. I don't know. There's been talks, people, they're recording vignettes already or something. I don't know. But as long as it makes sense. Don't just bring him in to be another guy, because right now, as much as AEW is bloated, WWE pushes Roman, Brock, Lashley. Like right now, I don't know where Cody would fill in that spot. So feud him with your Zigglers or some of his old friends
Cody,
that have feuds.
Seth. I can see that being something they go with. I think
WWE guy versus AEW guy.
I feel at one point the Triple H match would have been interesting, but with him having quite a serious heart condition earlier in the year and surgery, I can't see. I'd be surprised to see Triple H wrestle again, and but obviously that is a match that would be interesting and would be great, a great thing to go to. But at this point I can't really see that happening. So I think Seth is really kind of your company guy, isn't he? That would be something I could see them going with.
That doesn't it just doesn't sound like, it sounds okay, but it doesn't sound super exciting. I think even me, as my Cody fandom of loving this weird character question mark, I'm a little oh man, you helped create this thing. All your boys are there, your brother's there. There's this Nightmare Collective. Sorry, no, not the Nightmare Collective. The Nightmare Family, that whole thing. And you're really gonna do this, or is this just a hey, I like to stir the pot. I want to keep this business thriving, and this business thrives when people make moves. And clearly, I'm not, wanted here right now, or something, or maybe it is interesting because again, hey, people are always talking about him.
We saw that list he did, and Cody, we know, is a massive fan of this business. As much as he is a part of it, he's a fan of it. And Vince is still, say what you will about him, Vince is still kind of the mega power in wrestling and has been forever. And I can see that part of Cody being part of that bucket list is being the guy in WWE, holding a world title in WWE, doing something that his dad never did, and that's being the champ there, that his brother never did. I can see that being part of a new list. He ticked off everything in that old list. He faced all those people in the indies. He sold out a 10,000 seat venue. He created a company. And whereas we've seen in the past people I don't know, let's take a Drew McIntyre, for example, leaving, building himself up, making a name for himself, and then coming back and being champion. Cody's Cody, and Cody is extra, so would go and create a new company and buy a theme song and get the suits and the cars and the reality TV shows and everything to come back and be hey, I'm a fucking star. I want to be the guy here. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Again, I think it is kind of an interesting move, just because it's hey, I know I can have this fight or argument or breakup with Tony Khan and AEW, but then I'll go. They seem, what we're hearing is WWE's open arms. Vince is hell yeah, come wrestle for me. You're a big star, and then it just adds to the Codiness of Cody. It's
exactly.
Yeah,
it's so
it is
Cody.
It is Cody.
It would be more baffling for me to see the Young Bucks do this, But Cody, it's huge news. But it's it's Cody's gonna Cody.
Cody's gonna Cody, bro. That's it. And I'm still intrigued. I can't lie. I'm not gonna tune into Raw just because I know he's not just gonna randomly pop up. But hey, if he does, then cool. I'll have to go then check it out. But I'm interested in seeing, maybe it's Cody versus Austin at WrestleMania. We don't know. Could
I don't
something
think so.
Big like that. No, I don't think so either. But definitely he could be wrestling at WrestleMania in probably a big spot there. So yeah, I am interested in that, and that's crazy. It shakes the boat here. It rocks the boat because AEW is kind of built with him as one of their, not to say pillars, but one of the guys that helped push this and push for, all wrestling unions and all that stuff. Cody, he was the one. He went to Ring of Honor. He went to New Japan. He helped start this, and now he's dipped out. It's just interesting. I'd be interested to hear some of the sides of the story I know it's literally day 2 as we're recording this of this story, but it's like down the line, like, will TK speak of it? Will Cody speak of it? Will Nightmare family people speak on it? Are they like affected by this? Like what happens?
What's going to happen with Shoddy Lee, you know?
Exactly, man. Like, what is going to happen with Shoddy Lee? Is he going to defect too? Cody comes into WWE with his whole like Nightmare family behind him, like, I'm taking over.
QT just takes over. He's like, look, I told you all of this. I told you this was going to happen. Nick Comoroto listened to me. Aaron Solo listened to me. You should have listened to me, Shoddy Lee. Yeah.
That was the storyline. And now it's that. Yeah. But just crazy times. Cody Rhodes, the road to WrestleMania is definitely on its way, and we will be seeing him there. But yeah, crazy. But there is still a pay-per-view to go towards. What other news has happened since? I'm trying to, like, everything else seems like it doesn't really. No,
that's
matter.
Really been the only thing I've kind of noticed today, since we talked about a lot yesterday, but no, it's still just little details and nuggets of information coming out about that, really.
Yeah, so good stuff. We'll jump into Dynamite, but this is when we'll tell you to follow us on Twitter at upNXT Podcast and check out our Patreon, because it is February and we have a ton of awesome shows. Yes, we've done a review of Rush Hour. We've done Super Brawl 2. We did Best Match Ever, HBK. And this week we're doing the 20th anniversary of WWF No Way Out 2002, featuring the NWO showing up in the WWE for the first time. So that's quite interesting. And a loaded just card of just huge names from 2002. That roster was crazy. And total different, but maybe you'll be interested to hear our thoughts on the book of Boba Fett that we recorded today.
Oh yeah, going through all 7 episodes of Book of Boba Fett and our thoughts on the whole thing. We're diving back into the world of Star Wars. It feels like quite a while since we've been talking about that. So that'll be coming out this weekend, I believe, on Sunday. So go and check that out. It'll be available for all North American and World Champion patrons.
Yes, talking all about the Way, the Mandalorian, all that fun stuff. I don't even want to spoil it for people who haven't watched, but go check it out, because I have some keen choice words for this series. But yeah, more Star Wars stuff and so many podcasts. Go check it out. North American tier gets you access to all these shows, and it's only $5 per month. Try us out. You won't be disappointed. We podcast quite a lot. Some reason they always connect every time we do these shows, but I couldn't quite connect.
It's
the Boba Fett one.
Very connection from Boba Fett, huh? There's going to be an actor in there for sure.
Yeah, but Super Brawl was in Milwaukee. No Way Out was in Milwaukee.
You had wrestlers in both shows, yeah.
Yeah, both shows and stuff. Yes, our reviews somehow always make it in. Was it Sino that told us that we totally, in our Rush Hour review, went over our heads, that Gene LaBelle, who was the cab driver, who I mentioned, like, hey, isn't he like a famous fighter? And it turns out, Gene LaBelle, the LaBelle Lock.
Oh, okay.
So we totally missed that in Rush Hour, but go check that out as well. Should we talk about?
I wouldn't know who Gene LaBelle was if
I
walked into my living room right now as I was recording this show. Well, I'd be like, "Can you get out of the house, please?"
He has passed away, but
yeah, no idea.
Yeah.
Let's
talk about. I wonder if that was even his actual move.
Yeah.
Like it's a crossface.
Yeah. With the arm hook, right? Yeah, a little different.
Yeah, sure. I was watching something else yesterday, because I know Wednesdays is when my Pam and Tommy drop, but my lady friend was trying to make me watch Love is Blind, which it seems a lot of people
You sound like you're 70 when you say my lady friend. That's like what old people say when their wife has passed away and they start seeing a new person at the old people's home. They're like, oh, I'm just going to see my lady friend.
When you get one, you can call them what you want, good sir.
Hey, don't be mean. Why are you being mean? Just saying, I've not heard 29-year-old, 30-year-olds saying lady friend before.
I think I mean, it's quite common. I don't know. You're in the UK, don't they say lady more often?
Yeah, old people.
I'm old. I'm
Old
sophisticated.
divorced people.
Oh, that's not a good sign then. Well, this show she was trying to make me watch, and then I watched like a Japanese version of it, and then when I search about it on Twitter, it's like huge, and it's very interesting. I'm probably gonna watch more of it, and definitely will be wanting to talk about it. It sounds like something Way would be interested in as well. He loves those reality shows and stuff. But
So what's it called?
Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. Oh, okay.
It's Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard of it?
We've got it on over here, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a few different ones where it's like they lock you talk to people, but you can't see them. And then at the end, after, if you like them, you got to get married. And that's when you get to see them. And then some people are like, oh, that's what you look like. Never mind. Or some people are like, oh, wow, you're kind of hot, or like whatever. But
it's like kind of like
it's a weird
banter
game
in
show.
Ted Lasso, you know, the app. I've just rewatched
Banter.
Ted Lasso with my mom.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
like banter,
Yeah.
but like with real talking. Yeah.
Banter was like, it's like Tinder, but that sounds like a terrible, like, it sounds like it's such a good idea.
It just sounds like
really.
you're setting up for disappointment all the time.
You're setting it up for just like, you're going to be catfished. You're going to be all sorts of things.
I get disappointed when I've seen their pictures to start with, you know, like.
And then what? That you say what?
I mean, it's all about angles and lighting, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there wasn't any Tinder references on this show, but that's for Tuesdays. That's for NXT. That doesn't quite happen over here, but it sometimes does. Let's talk about Dynamite from Wednesday, February 16th, 2022. And we kick off with CM Punk, who's already in the ring, cross-legged, and he's about to drop a pipe bomb. He says, I'm straight edge, I'm drug-free, alcohol-free, and that makes me better than you. Better than you. Does that sound familiar? And that's when he says, that's because MJF, you sound like me, you walk like me, you talk like me, you want to be me, MJF. But I'm not mad at you, Max. I'm proud of you. He said you want to be Piper in Portland, or Brett in Calgary, or Punk in Chicago. No, you're just shitty Max from shitty Long Island. So thank you, Max, because, well, I beat your obstacles. I had a friend, and thank you, Mox, for having my back, because now I get to pick. And then he won the match. Therefore, he gets to
pick the stipulation.
And a stipulation. He says, you put people in cages before. I would love to do that, but you say you're Piper in Portland. Well, I know Valentine's Day is over, but I'll be Piper in Portland. I'll be your Valentine. Max, be my Valentine. And why don't you come out here? Because I'll tell you what it's going to be. So Max comes out, and this is when Punk pulls out the photo that we've all seen of MJF as a kid at like a meet and greet with Punk. And he says to me, yeah, you've seen this photo. And then he says, Max, this was probably the best day of your life. But for me, it was just Friday. And March 6th, well, that's just a Sunday. And I'm going to beat you. And, well, I'm going to beat you so bad that the mat won't be stained with your shitty spray tan. It will be sprayed with your blood. And it's going to be in a dog collar match, just like he said about Roddy Piper. And then, MJF is so taken aback and so shook that he just drops the mic and walks off.
He leaves, doesn't say anything. Yeah.
So upset.
No, I thought CM Punk was great here. Always a great promo. I love the line, I'll be Piper, will you be my Valentine? Obviously referencing Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine in that famous dog collar match, which is very overrated. We talked about it a couple of years ago. Not a very good match, to be honest, but seems to be pretty famous.
Did we do a best match ever dog collar match?
No, I'm trying to remember. It was in a best match ever we did, but I can't remember what was it. Was it Starcade, Best of Starcade, or something like that? Maybe was it from a Starcade, that match?
Yeah, maybe
possibly.
we did a throwback thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I think this match sounds great. I like how he was being a smart babyface here. He's like, yeah, normally when we have these kind of things going on where someone keeps trying to run away or there's interference, we have it in a steel cage. And I could ask for a cage match, but, you know, Wardlow could just climb in. You could just climb out. It's like, yeah, because I'm so bored of, we've been watching wrestling how many years and they go, oh, and we'll put it in a cage so no one can get in, and someone always gets in. So I think this makes a lot of sense. The story has been the whole time MJF running away from Punk, and Brody Lee and Cody Rhodes set the bar high with a dog collar match in AEW. So this I'm really interested in. I think their first match was fantastic, and to add a stipulation like this, I think this could be really good and kind of promises violence here as well.
Yeah. I was thinking about it while he's saying this. I'm like, oh, so he gets to pick the stip. I'm like, well, what would he want? Would he want a cage match? That is too like easy. Even saying like a no DQ match is like, well, we know he's got friends and stuff, but it's like no, a dog collar match. And I mean, Punk has had his history with dog collar matches as well. I think he had a like brutal one with Jimmy Rave in Ring of Honor.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, he's had his fair share of violent stuff like this as well.
Was it Raven he had one with as well?
Yeah. Was it? Yeah. Who did he have them with? But they were pretty violent as well, and they're bloody. So you're right. This kind of in this weird, smart, marky world of wrestling that AEW land fans, we're all like, oh, well, this means it's going to be bloody. This means it's going to be violent. They're going to be choking each other, and we want to see MJF go through that. So yeah, I'm excited. That's a great stip for this match, for the rematch. Because I love that first one. That was just almost like a masterpiece of wrestling. MJF just getting that heat. And I saw like on one of the commercials of like a million that they said they're going back to Long Island soon. So I mean, MJF's going to get that hometown reaction again.
Nice.
They go back to these towns way too quick. But I mean, I guess they can't go to other places still.
I don't know. I don't know why they book certain venues. I guess no idea, but yeah, they play a lot of the same venues a lot.
Yeah. Well, I like this opening thing. It's weird seeing AEW start with talking segments, but it works, like you said, when the person can actually talk.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got no problem with a kind of promo off to start when a lot of these guys are great at it. So it's just as entertaining as a match. It's not just let's have one person in the ring talking and then a procession of challengers walking out with stilted lines. Like I've got no problem starting with a promo, and the pay-per-view's getting close, so you need to start driving what these matches are going to be. But yeah, like as always, Punk is great on the mic.
Yeah, I'm stoked for that match. We get a video for Danielson, kind of showing that promo where he was asking Mox to be on his side, kind of reiterating that we could run this place. His match is coming up just in a bit, but before that, we go to Jurassic Express backstage with Tony Schiavone and Christian Cage, and there's going to be 2 number 1 contender matches for the tag titles, so one of them is a battle royal, so and the other's the casino battle royal.
Yeah, so they're both tag team battle royals, but I believe the first one will be a tag team battle royal where all of the people are in the ring to start with, like a classic battle royal, and the second one will be a casino battle royal. So that's where AEW has it. They come out in sets of 4, so you'll have probably 4 teams coming in at a time, and then you'll have the Joker team, which I assume will be a debut of a new team, probably a new signing to AEW as a surprise, is what I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. So what, like the Briscoes or something? I can't even think of
Briscoes, Hardys, Hit Row.
Right.
Yeah. I'd imagine.
Okay, well,
I think normally they set up a casino to have some sort of surprise as the Joker. So yeah, standard battle royal next week, and then the week after will be some kind of surprise.
Okay, so there's going to be 2 winning teams out of the outcomes of these matches, and that means the pay-per-view match is Jurassic Express versus a team in a three-way, and Jungle Boy says, I love a good three-way. And Luchasaurus looks over at him like, what did you just say? And he says, a good three-way tag match, and I can't wait. And then Christian says that there's going to be some changes coming in the tag team division. But before that happens, Jurassic Express is going to beat these challengers and retain the titles at Revolution. So Christian kind of throwing a little, some wording here. Is he calling for the Hardys here as well? But so tag match is coming soon. I mean, wouldn't you just have the last two? It seems like it's a hard way to find your two number one contenders. You could have just done a tournament for these 2 weeks, but yeah.
A tag team tournament in 2 weeks?
4 teams.
Well, they're going with the Battle Royal thing.
Yeah.
That way you can do the surprise, isn't it? And I do tend to enjoy the AEW Battle Royals. I do think they tend to book them quite well. So yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. I think it's one of those things that sounds more confusing, especially when it was in our little chat group and I kept on looking at Twitter because it was just kind of a throwaway line here, like, oh, we got a Battle Royal and then a Tag Team Casino Battle Royal, and you're like, wait, what? But really, it's just there's 2 Battle Royals and the winner of each one will go to the match. It's not overly confusing, really. But also, we haven't really seen a 3-way tag match in AEW, or at least that I can think of off the top of my head. So I think that's kind of cool because it will be something kind of fresh for the division and allows for just even more nut stuff to happen. The tag matches are always fun. So whatever 3 teams they're going with, I'm sure this is going to be a killer match at the pay-per-view. Yeah,
what teams would you want to be in that mix? The Hardy Boys, are they going to make it a TLC match?
A TLC match? Maybe. I don't know. I've said I've got no interest in seeing the Hardy Boys wrestle again personally, but it could be them. The Briscoes I'd have a bit more interest in seeing. Personally, I think that could be pretty cool. The Bucks and I have a feeling both the Bucks and Red Dragon aren't gonna win this thing. Because they've got kind of their own stuff going with each other. So maybe FTR in the mix again and another team. FTR
and
the Briscoes and the Jurassic Express. That could be cool.
Yeah, and like the winning team takes the titles without beating the other team, still allowing that match to happen, the one-on-one teams. But yeah, okay. They have great teams, so
they've got so many teams. Yeah. Whoever they're going with, this is going to be a good match.
Well, we go to a good match because up next is Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty. So Danielson's been spouting off that he wants to change AEW and have this whole unit, and he had personally name dropped Lee Moriarty. And well, we're gonna get this match right here. The newcomer Lee getting a big opportunity. It cuts to Sabrina the Teenage Witch in the front row.
Yeah. Also
Melissa Joan Hart.
Clarissa, was that her other show?
Clarissa knows it all? Or
yeah.
Clarissa knows best.
Clarissa knows best, yeah.
She is a huge wrestling. She's a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, I've seen she's tweeted and stuff, had little things going on before, but yeah, I haven't seen her for years. Good to see her at AEW. A lot of celebrities in the house tonight. Well, 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. So this is kind of what we expect early on. Danielson almost punishing Moriarty with like paintbrushes, like embarrassing him here, and then starts beating down on him, hits a Mexican surfboard into the Romero special like Liger does. But Moriarty goes for a move of his own, kind of like the Gargano escape, but it's the Border City Stretch, which was
the what?
Yeah. Wow, that's exactly what I wrote. JR just like, whoa, what are you talking about, Excalibur? He's just stomping all over Excalibur, trying to explain that Alex Shelley basically gifted this move name and moved to Moriarty here. But JR is just like, what is that? I don't know what that is. Is that barbecue sauce? There's forearms from Danielson, the classic backflip out the corner, and series of roundhouse kicks to the chest as they go to break. When we come back, it's Danielson still beating down on him. And then they're going for like the middle of the ring, almost pose off when they're on their knees, and they're doing like the test of strength, bending backwards thing. But are they upside down when they're doing this? Because then they start hitting each other. This was insane.
Yeah, they did the sort of trying to pin each shoulder down, and Bryan Danielson just jumping with his knees and Moriarty bridging out of it. And then they hooked both their legs, right? And rolled onto their backs and just bridge up. So they're on their heads upside down, doing body shots, punching each other. This looked great. Really, really good.
Yeah, I like this. It was kind of something you don't usually see just in wrestling, at least not enough, but great. Showing the just athleticism from both guys here. They continue doing that, but I was very impressed by that. Danielson gets the offense and starts killing him here. And then when they finally get to their feet, there's just this slap, like strong palm slap to the face from Danielson, which pisses off Lee, who comes back with a series of strikes of his own. Open palm hits. There's then the Border City stretch, but Danielson eventually gets out of it and then hits this, what I can only call a snap regal plex. So it's like how someone would hit the snap dragon or the snap German, but as the regal plex, just nasty, dumping him on his head.
As his neck. Like, this looked
Crazy.
So good, so deadly.
Somehow this guy Moriarty gets up, but Danielson charges at him with the Busaiku knee out the corner. The ref looks at Moriarty and is like, no, this guy's out. I'm calling the match. But Danielson stops him. He waves him off. He says, nope, grabs the arms of Lee and then does the face stomps, just repeatedly stomping him with the arms held to the head, to the side of the head, the neck, and then just the most simplest leg triangle pose thing while he's posing with his arms up, flexing. The ref immediately calls it, and Danielson gets the win. But yeah, I loved this match. This was great. I love Bryan Danielson. He is so interesting to watch, and this was almost like a war. We expected it. I was expecting to see Moriarty step up here, and he did just that.
Yeah, every match Bryan Danielson has in this company is so interesting and entertaining to watch. And we haven't seen him since the Hangman match wrestle. So this was a real treat. I think Lee Moriarty is someone, I've seen a little bit of his indie stuff. I've heard a lot of good things about his indie work, but I haven't seen a great deal of him because he hasn't really wrestled a great deal on Dynamite. And I think this was a great showcase for him. Sure, the guy lost, but it really showed that he could hang with Danielson and has quite a similar style, a real technical style. And when he wanted to deliver those forearms and those palm strikes, he laid it in thick as well. The capture suplex you mentioned, just Danielson, the way his facial expressions throughout the whole match are so good, where he knows he's hurt the guy and he's just got this dirty smile on his face. Even right at the beginning, going for the code of honor, the handshake, and then pulling away and sweeping it through his hair. He's such a dick. He plays such a good dick. And yeah, just really good stuff. I love the just stoppage. And we're going back to kind of how Danielson was at the beginning of this AEW run, where he's winning in just different ways, unique different ways all the time. I think this was my match of the night, to be honest.
Oh, for me it was. Yeah. I'll get into my reasons probably a bit why after, but the reasons why was because I love this match, but not that I didn't love the main event, but there was a weird finish with that when this was just what I like out of my wrestling. No real, the thing is he got psycho. It's like JR was actually good at this call because he was like, look at this guy. He's sadistic. He's like, deep down, I think this guy's a little wrong. And it's almost like he's insinuating that Danielson, maybe smiles and have been the company guy and the family man, but he's here because he gets off on this.
It's his kink, isn't it? Hurting people.
It's almost like his weird thing. And he does it just beautifully because he is just fantastic. But then it doesn't stop there, because after the match, Danielson grabs the microphone and says, ladies and gentlemen, I came out here to teach Lee Moriarty a thing or two about violence. Did he pass? Did he pass or did he fail? And the crowd is kind of giving him a mixed reaction here. They don't know how to react. And he goes, well, that's why I don't trust the American public with anything. He says, I asked Jon Moxley to join me, and I want to start a new AEW. And Jon Moxley, I want my answer. So out comes Moxley through the crowd with this wild thing. He gets in the ring. He has a microphone. He says, over a decade ago, I was like Lee. I was like a little kid here. And like a lot of kids in AEW, I was wrestling and I was found myself at a show in Ohio, and you were supposed to wrestle me. And I was so excited to wrestle the American Dragon, but your flight was late. So Tracy Smothers was distracting the crowd for a while you made it. You showed up with your gear already on. You walked right through the kitchen, this little arena, this little place, and you were ready. And I looked in your eyes and I knew I was ready, but I came up short, but I wanted to face the best. And well, every time I ever faced you after that, I always lost, which I guess is true.
I started to look through, but yeah, I think in the only times they really faced in WWE seemed to be when it was the Shield and Daniel Bryan, and in the singles matches, Daniel Bryan would win. They didn't look like they had a great deal of singles in WWE, at least on Cage when I had a look.
Yeah, you know what's weird is I actually went to a Raw in Toronto, and it was Bryan Daniel versus Dean Ambrose.
Really?
Yeah, and it was pretty good. I remember. I think did I sit with? I don't remember who I sat. Was it with Way? I can't remember. John. I remember. I was like, oh yeah, like it was pretty good. Dean Ambrose and Danielson or Bryan Daniel. Yeah.
What was interesting, according to Cage Match, the last time these two shared a ring together was teaming up Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose to take on AJ Styles and Seth Rollins at Tribute to the Troops in 2018. And that's just so funny that they're doing this kind of story. And as far as I could tell, that was the last time they actually kind of shared a ring together in any sort of match, was actually teaming up.
Crazy. Well, I mean, that's where Danielson got the idea. He's like, hey, this guy's all right. You know,
yeah.
Maybe
we beat AJ and Seth. Like, let's see what we can do.
Yeah. He says, Mox says, every time I fought you, I came up short, and it's made me angry, but it's fine. And well, I see that you've come here to AEW as the American Dragon, and I always wanted this chance to slay that dragon, no pun intended, because I wanted to slay the American Dragon. And as it turns out, he doesn't want to face me. He wants to join forces. He wants to create a new AEW. Well, is the only reason you want to stand side by side? Is it because you don't want to face Jon Moxley? He says, I've done what I've done to all these people in the last 3 years here. You've probably seen that. And well, it looks to me that I've already beaten Bryan Danielson because he's scared of me. And so he's like, I'll leave you with that question, Bryan. You can think on that. Is that the reason why you want to team with me? Because you're scared of me? Because I don't stand side by side with someone until I bleed with him. And then he drops the mic, leaving Danielson with a question of his own. But yeah, this story, this angle with these two is very interesting, which I think it has to lead to a one-on-one encounter at the pay-per-view.
At the pay-per-view.
And take my money, please.
So he's saying the only way that he'll team with him is if they have a match first. So hopefully we get to see both of this. Hopefully we'll get the singles match at Revolution, and then maybe a little bit of a tag run with these two. But can't wait. This was the match we were meant to have at Full Gear, was it? Yeah. Which obviously that's when Mox checked into rehab. So no, can't wait. This is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm totally. This is what I like about like my wrestling. You don't need these crazy storylines. You just need stuff that, hey, there is some truth to this. This whole, hey, we wrestled in some gym in Ohio or whatever, and we've had our history and here or there, and I've always lost and stuff like that. That's the easiest thing to add. That's why I think the ranking system here is helpful as well for future stuff, because you can always tell who lost and stuff. But it just is a simple storyline, and I think it can be dragged out in so many different ways. Obviously, we're going to get this match, but then it still leaves you questioning, like, hey, well, who's going to win? Does Mox win and go, you know what, Danielson, I finally beat you? or does Danielson beat him and go, look, now you should join me, and then they do join, and then Kingston will somehow be like, hey, what's going on over here? I don't know, but I'm interested. It's great, and these two are really good talkers.
Oh yeah,
some of, if not the best talkers. So and wrestlers. So I can't wait. We go to Keith Lee, who has a video here. The Limitless One has arrived, and well, that was just phase 1. Phase 2 is the face of the Revolution ladder match at Revolution. The winner gets the TNT title opportunity, and I will take that. It will be mine. So Keith Lee has his sights on the TNT title. Kind of a quick video.
So that's something that's changed, because I'm pretty sure you got to call your shot what title you want to go for. I know last time Scorpio Sky did want to go for the TNT title, but I remember when they announced this match was coming back a few weeks ago now, MJF said to Wardlow, you're going to win this, and then I'll be able to cash in your title shot for the AEW Championship. So I don't know if that's Keith Lee just saying the title he's interested in is TNT title, or they've changed it and it's just for the number 1 contender for the TNT.
Yeah, true. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, he did name check the TNT title. So Keith Lee's coming for it. We go to Wardlow, the War Dog. This means war. He's going up against Max Castor from The Acclaimed, which means, of course, he's going to spit some bars here, which probably isn't a great move to do to this guy to piss him off even more. He mentions that he's going to beat up Wardlow worse than DaBaby beats up, I think, family members or something. DaBaby is a rapper who got in some fight over the past week. It got filmed at a bowling alley, and that's what they were referencing here. He also says that Wardlow's overrated like Nashville hot chicken, which probably got the biggest reaction from the crowd.
Hey man,
make fun of
Hattie B's. It's good chicken.
I mean, like, we know if you go to a town, you make fun of their hockey team, you get some heat. But if you make fun of how they make their chicken, tough times. You're gonna get.
It is when I did my little like road trip around the southern states. Whenever we went into an Uber, we were like, okay, so what kind of stuff should we do here? And all the time, like both in like Nashville, Memphis, Georgia and Texas, and they'd always go, oh, if you want the best fried chicken, you got to go to this place. And after like a few days, it's like, I need more recommendations than just fried chicken. But yeah, Hattie B's in Nashville is pretty damn good fried chicken.
Love it. But the crowd does not like this guy shitting on them. Then he shits on the Titans as well, and then says Wardlow is actually just MJF's bitch boy, and that's what he should be called. This obviously pisses Wardlow off. As the match starts, he's throwing Castor around. They go to picture-in-picture pretty early, but we come back. Castor somehow gets hold of the chain, and when the ref isn't looking, nails Wardlow with the chain and then hits the elbow drop off the top, his finish, but Wardlow kicks out just in the nick of time. There's then a powerbomb from Wardlow, and then again, 3 power bombs, foot on the chest, 1, 2, 3. It's over. Right after, Bowens attacks Wardlow, and Chairman isn't even helping him. Doesn't even care about his friend. And then Wardlow doesn't need his friend anyways, beats up Bowens and power bombs him too.
What I love is how quick Wardlow hits these power bombs. It's not like remember when Brock used to do it? I always remember him doing it to Spike Dudley, like the triple power bomb where you hold on. Wardlow hits it, rolls them through, just picks them up. And I noticed it more so with this one than other guys, was doing it so fast. And powerbombs are pretty standard move that we see everyone do, but they do look good with him. And as I kind of mentioned, I wonder if they're just quietly dropping this winning it to give to MJF, because I do think there's a lot of story to be had there with Wardlow winning this match. Definitely will feed into this MJF story, but I feel it would make more sense to be for the AEW Championship than the TNT.
Right. Sorry, I didn't even mention that this also was a qualifying match for that ladder match. So Wardlow is in that match. So right now it's Wardlow and Keith Lee in this.
And that's
ladder
something
match.
I'm looking forward to. I'm sure they're going to have a spot where they're destroying everyone, and then the two big lads go at it. And we know from those matches with like Dijak in NXT, Keith Lee has some great big man versus big man matches. So I think him versus Wardlow could be really something down the line that I'd be quite interested in.
Yeah, they'll go face to face, and Keith Lee will look at Wardlow and go, "Ooh, big boy,
Big boy,
like Brock did to him in the Rumble."
Love it, do it.
Yeah. It was noted that like Sean Spears didn't really care what happened to Wardlow, but Wardlow took care of it himself. We go to Britt Baker backstage with her whole crew and Mercedes Martinez. She says tonight Mercedes is going against Thunder Rosa in the no DQ match. And remember, there's no losing. Got it? Just remember why I brought you here. Finish the job. Finish Thunder. And she says, in case we need some help, she brought in the best coach that she could. And out walks Sensei John Kreese from Cobra Kai.
It was a moment where it took me a second. I was like, who? Why?
Sorry,
well, okay, all right, sure, why not?
And he says, we're going to finish her. And remember, you got to show no mercy.
He was saying that in regards to Mercedes, I believe.
Yeah.
She went, and what should I do if she can't get the job done? He's like, well, finish her, no mercy. But yeah, I think Kreese would be great as a like some sort of wrestling manager. I kind of hope he sticks around.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, we've mentioned some Cobra Kai. Obviously, we've done our Karate Kid reviews out on the Patreon, but the Cobra Kai, the show, is so silly, so ridiculous that it's like you can't not watch. And he's just been great. He's been great, this guy in Cobra Kai. So I don't know what he's doing here, but some cross promotion here with Cobra Kai. Weird. We go to a commercial, but when we come back, Tony Schiavone is in the middle of the ring. He's going to interview the world heavyweight champ, Hangman Adam Page. But before this can even get lifted, actually, I was using the Fire Stick to watch, and it was during the commercial break when a commercial played. It was a Pizza Hut one, Craig Robinson. Those ones every fucking break, and then it played another one about face cream, and then it played a Pizza Hut commercial again. So I was like, oh, it's weird that they're playing two in the same block as someone in, TV. I'm like, that's a no-no. Then it played the face cream one, and then it played the pizza one again. Then it played the face cream. It kept playing the same two commercials when I realized I think I've been sitting here for 2 minutes with this thing looping. So when I quickly fixed my feed, Adam Cole already walked out. So I was like, oh, okay. So I wasn't sure if Hangman actually said anything.
Hangman didn't say a whole lot. He barely said a thing before Cole comes right out.
Well, I can tell you that Pizza Hut has a great deal on buy one, get one free.
Oh, nice.
Or awesome. Medium 3 toppings. So no one out pizzas the Hut, Davie.
It's true. Well, is it? But no, but
it's not. It's not.
Deals on pizza. Pizza is still pizza, and deals with pizza makes it better pizza. So I'm okay.
How's the pizza over there in the UK? What's pizza in the UK like?
Pizza's all right, actually. There's a lot of like nice kind of like Italian sort of stone oven pizza places you can go to, and then a lot of like kind of cheap pizza places where you just get great deals, like a huge pizza for like nothing, where it's probably just like terrible meat and stuff, but sometimes when you want pizza. It's better than pizza, I would say, all of it.
Well, yeah. What about like, is there a specific type of pizza that Brits eat?
Well, for the chains, like Domino's and Pizza Hut are popular for the chain. Or are you talking more about like New York style, Chicago style, or all that?
Or like, like they say a Canadian invented the Hawaiian pizza, which is funny, but then also Canadians just eat like,
okay, so something that I'm not a fan of, but is popular over here, is corn on pizza.
Oh,
which I don't like.
Yeah. I would fuck with that for sure.
But that is quite kind of popular over here. Because I remember when people were like, when I'd be in Canada and be like, anything you don't want on your pizza, I'd be like, ideally not mushrooms, and I really don't want corn on it. And they were like, why would I put corn on a pizza? I'm like, I don't know. Whenever I go somewhere, someone has fucking corn on their pizza. I'm like, what are you doing?
Get that corn out of my face.
Yeah. It's the texture thing with that. Like, I'll like barbecue a corn on the cob and eat it no problem and enjoy it. But it's the like biting into like the cheese and then the pop like with the corn just doesn't. It kind of weirds me out a little.
Look, I love. I could eat corn in probably anything, but I do not really put it on my pizza.
Yeah.
That is strange. Some people in the Twitch chat are like, "What the fuck? Who eats corn on pizza?"
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, back to Dynamite. No pizza here, but Hangman Adam Page with Tony Schiavone, and Adam Cole interrupts him. Adam Cole's bigging him up and says, "Hey, that match last week, that Texas Death Match was badass. You earned the right to call yourself world champion. And well, you know, you've done all these things," and kind of mentions that Hangman's just here by himself. It must be weird, you know. You've alienated yourself with the Dark Order and the Young Bucks and Kenny. Like, look at you. And he kind of upsets Hangman Page here. He says, yeah, well, how was it for you when all your friends went and built a wrestling empire here in AEW without you? Yeah, it must feel weird. This gets a lot of oohs from the crowd. Adam Cole, I guess I should specify, says, well, we go way back, Bullet Club, Ring of Honor roommates, all that stuff. No one seems to really like you now, though. You know, I've had titles everywhere I've gone except here yet, but I will. And Hangman says, well, look, actually, if you're talking about people not liking me, you don't have the best record with friendships. It seems you've made a lot of mistakes. And if the more you talk right now in this ring, you might make the biggest mistake yet. When Adam Cole kind of says, okay, well, just remember that everyone knows that you're just the other Adam, and says, one day we will fight. And when that happens, may the best man win. And that's when Cole walks off. And as he's leaving up the ramp, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly from behind attack Hangman. Cole runs in the ring. You think, hey, maybe he'll help Page. But no, he puts the boots to him as well. All these jobber cops come out, and there's a pull apart. There's then the Dark Order, and then 10 just freaks out and starts beating up all these extra jobber cop guys. He's throwing them around.
It was kind of weird because these jobber cops came out to help Hangman because Hangman had been jumped. So they came out to protect him. And then Dark Order and 10 just comes out and kills these jobber cops. It was a little odd. But he looked good throwing these guys around. It was like a big focus on 10, who we hadn't really had much focus on for a while. Like, he did look good. It just felt very out of place, I thought.
Well, they have announced that actually on, I think, Rampage, it's going to be Adam Cole versus 10 now. So I like the story of, because we've mentioned on our show quite a few times of how the story of Adam and one guy was away, and there was some, again, more truth to AEW. Definitely likes to blend the truth in here with, we always were asking, fans were always asking each other, like, hey, how must Adam Cole feel with this all happening while he's kind of in the WWE? And well, it's kind of brought here into the story. So what do you think? Do you think we're going to Revolution as Adam Cole versus Adam Page?
I mean, you can't really have a pay-per-view and not have the world title defended, and it just feels a little soon, maybe. Don't get me wrong, I'm very much looking forward to the match. I think it's going to be a good match. But the problem is with having the Lance Archer thing last week, it kind of only gives you a couple of weeks to build this thing. And I can't say from what I saw tonight, I'm particularly compelled in the story. And I know there's a better story to be told here. So I think there's quite a bit of work to do in the next sort of Rampage and Dynamites ahead of the pay-per-view to make this feel as big as it should feel. But again, I've got the same criticism I've had every week. The Hangman just feels a bit of an afterthought. It doesn't feel like the hottest feud. Like MJF and CM Punk feels way, way bigger than this. But I think when it comes to the actual match itself, yeah, it's something I want to see and something that's going to be good.
Yeah, it's a match I think we've wanted to see even before this him coming to AEW. People were like, hey, imagine if Cole could face Page here, the battle of the Atoms, and well, the Atoms will collide. But I hope they do it. I could see a Hangman retaining, and then eventually we do go to this match eventually one day down the line. But a few weeks to build, I'd still give it a shot because I do think the match will be just crazy. Both of these guys are awesome, and I'm willing to
I feel this match
chance.
is something that could really be sold on the road to more so than the TV stuff. Like if they're using being the elite stuff from years ago and that kind of thing, I think the road to for this could be really quite compelling.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Hey, and they do those things, and those things have been pretty great as well. So, but yeah, honestly, if this is the card so far, like Adam versus Adam, I want to watch this match. Yeah, it does feel a little early, but hey, do it, just do it. We go to Jericho and Jake Hager, who are going up against their own inner circle partners, Proud and Powerful. And well, this started all because the riff in this whole thing, and they need to sort some things out. So Jericho, who's looking jacked, by the way, looking great.
He looks in way better shape than like we've seen him before, I think. And first match for quite a while, if I remember right.
And his partner, Jake Hager, who's in crazy shape. Jake looks like a beast.
He looked awesome. We haven't seen this guy in forever in a ring. But yeah, looked in really good shape here.
With his pink trunks.
Loved it.
I love these.
Was it Sino in the chat said it was like Johnny Swinger-esque trunks? And I completely saw that. He looked pretty good tonight.
Old
JP.
Very pink. It was pink with like
zebra prints kind of thing.
Yeah, but like also it's like MMA, so it's got like his like logos and like sponsors, I guess, or whatever on it. PMP in their classic gear with the face paint as well. When Eddie Kingston comes out right before this match starts to just watch ringside, the match starts and PNP, Proud and Powerful, are beating down on Chris Jericho, hitting a series of double team moves. There's a standing moonsault double team. There's then a fisherman buster. Finally, Jericho tags in Jake Hager, who gets some offense in. He's slamming Santana around. Jake Hager had me laughing here when he's just yelling, "Why? Why? Why?"
He's just so upset that the inner circle's falling apart.
Oh my God! Why?
He hasn't wrestled for months, and his first match back is against his own friends. Why?
He was like, "Tell me why. Tell me why. Just tell me. Tell me why." He's just beating him around. Santana does fight back, but then runs into a huge power slam from Hager. Jericho tags back in, hits his running bulldog on Santana, goes for the lion salt, but Ortiz stops him from doing it, which allows Santana to hit almost like a rope, not a top rope, but second rope side Russian leg sweep.
Oh yeah, beautiful cool stuff.
Yeah, what did you enjoy? Was it a good side Russian leg sweep?
I mean, any side Russian leg sweep's a good side Russian leg sweep, but coming off the second rope with it, chef's kiss.
Yeah, good. There was then the street sweeper for a 2 count as Jericho kicked out of it. The crowd were really hot for this, by the way. There's then a cannonball where it's like the poetry in motion setup from Proud and Powerful, but Santana then jumps off the back of Ortiz to cannonball into Jericho, who's standing into the turnbuckle, but Jericho catches him in midair. This transition was beautiful.
He saw Keith Lee last week and was like, "Hey, I can do that. I can do what's all this buzz about Keith Lee? Like, don't forget about the influencer over here."
Yeah, so he catches him in this and puts him into the lion tamer, as they call it, the walls of Jericho. When Eddie Kingston is ringside yelling, "Santana, come on, you can make it, you can make it." In a great spot here when Santana finally gets to the ropes. Eddie Kingston gets up on the apron to kind of be hype and be like, "Yeah, you did it." When Jericho does his triangle drop kick to Kingston, sending him flying, he goes for the Judas effect, but it's blocked. There's then a hit from Ortiz, which allows Santana to hit the discus lariat. for the pin. I wasn't sure if Ortiz nailed Jericho with the 8-ball in the sock or whatever, but
I don't
it
think
was
so.
I don't think so either.
I didn't notice any. I think it was just more a bit of kind of confusion and then being hit with the discus lariat there.
Well, right after the match, Eddie Kingston and Jericho are brawling when finally they're kind of separated.
They noted that Eddie didn't do anything. It was Jericho kind of lost the match and just went right after Eddie.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he didn't even help. He didn't even help by any means. He just kind of was there getting hype, and Jericho was like, "Nah, get the fuck out of here." So, yeah, I actually really like this match. The crowd were eating it up as well, but great match.
I thought it was pretty good. I really like Santana. I think this guy could be a real big star on his own at some point. I think he's great on the mic. I think he's great in the ring. They were noting on commentary how he's bulked up a little bit as well. Seems a little bigger. I thought Jericho looked pretty good in this match. He's a bit hit and miss these days for me, but I thought he was looking good. And I thought Jake, actually, someone who we hadn't seen wrestle for a while, he didn't do a whole lot, but I thought what he did was really nice. He hit a beautiful belly-to-belly suplex in this match, and I think this served the purpose of building to this Eddie and Jericho match. But it also, I do feel, to have a inner circle versus inner circle match, it kind of felt like this could be a bit of a bigger deal. I was expecting maybe at least not a truce necessarily, but something after.
Right.
It didn't feel like a friendly match, which it isn't. But I don't know, if you're breaking them up, I'd expect maybe something a bit bigger than this. But I enjoyed the match.
I enjoyed the match a lot. It didn't feel like a breakup either. So there's more to that. But it shows Jericho's kind of in the wrong. So, I mean, you could also almost turn him here, because I don't think him being the babyface is quite going to work. I think it should be Jericho.
It's got to be Jericho as the heel, yeah.
Yeah, I would think that. But hopefully we get some good promo offs between. I think Eddie would just murder Jericho at this point, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We go to the Elite backstage. It's Adam Cole with the Young Bucks and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, when they're like, "Hey Bucks, where were you?" And they're like, "What, beating up Hangman?" Well, us beating up Hangman is pretty much like us beating up a dead horse. See what they did there? They said we don't really like. They're just like, we don't really want to be that. They're kind of uncomfortable with Red Dragon being here with Cole. And then Cole says on Rampage he's going to beat Ten's ass, and well, then Jay White's going to beat Trent Beretta, and then there's going to be 2 battle royals. The Bucks say, well, actually, we're going to get those titles back. When Red Dragon, Kyle, and Fish are like, no, maybe we'll win the one match. You can win the one match, and maybe we'll see what will happen at Revolution. As the teams walk off, leaving Cole in the middle when he can't decide who to walk off with. When Brandon Cutler behind the camera says, Cole can't decide, and he says, "Shut up, Brandon."
Yeah, I like what I picked up from here is that the Bucks say they're like beating a dead horse line. But do you remember the threat where Hangman was like, if you interfere against me and Kenny, like, right, I will like hunt you down for like the rest of your careers, essentially. And I like that it felt the Bucks are still kind of playing that up a bit, where no, we've had our thing with Hangman and we let him do his thing now. We're not a part of that. And I can see that playing into the finish of this match, where maybe it is Red Dragon trying to help Cole win this thing, and Hangman wins, and Cole is pissed that the Bucks were never there for him in this title match, which could be the catalyst to make Cole kind of decide to stick with Red Dragon. I thought these guys are always good with the storytelling and the little details, and I thought it was a nice callback here to the Kenny feud with the Bucks, where they seem a little scared of Hangman still. They don't want him to be hunting them all this time.
So you're saying whenever the Bucks eventually, which should not be anytime near soon, when they do kind of tween and turn babyface again, when they eventually team with Hangman, it'll be this big kind of like moment, I think.
Yeah, could be. I feel there's almost like a almost a respect there for Hangman now. When you take that little nod as well at the end of the match with Kenny. But yeah, I can totally see Hangman winning this match and Cole being pissed at the Bucks for not being there for him.
Well, we go to our next match. Mercedes Martinez is going up against Thunder Rosa in a no DQ match. Mercedes is the hired gun from Britt Baker, who's supposed to take Thunder out. She comes out with a pipe, a lead pipe. She's going to beat up Thunder Rosa, who comes out with a chair, which doesn't really, I don't know, this heavy, giant lead pipe seems like it might do more damage. But I was wrong because Thunder swings it and Mercedes then drops the pipe. As they're
chair
brawling
you can use as
around.
a shield, I guess, as well. If someone's
I
coming
guess,
over
but
with a
like,
pipe.
if it was this big, heavy one, it would probably go through the chair or bend it or dent it or something. Well, Mercedes and Thunder Rosa are brawling around ringside when they again cut to Sensei Kreese from Cobra Kai. He's just hanging around here. There's then an Irish whip through the guardrail from Thunder, sending Mercedes flying. And then it sounded like you just jumped off a guardrail right now.
Yeah.
There's then a spot where Thunder Rosa has Mercedes like in the aisleway of the crowd and goes to climb part of this guardrail, part of the arena, but can't quite get herself up. So she turns around and there's a bunch of fans literally right behind her, near her. So she kind of like asks one of them, like, "Hey, can I use your shoulder?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, all right." So like to me, this did not look like it was a planned,
no, I don't think so either.
Planted spot or anything like that. It's just genuinely her being like, "Hold on, I need to use your shoulder." Climbs up and then jumps off to land on Mercedes. But just a pretty cool moment there. Imagine that was just you in the crowd being like, "Oh, all right, cool." So then they're fighting. They go back in. There's then tables being brought around, weapons, all that plunder. There's a fisherman suplex off the apron through a table. Kind of, because it didn't really break, but still looked pretty nasty.
It looked kind of fun, actually. They kind of had a little bit of a slide down this thing.
Just sliding down this not broken table. There's trash cans and drop kicks in the corner from Thunder Rosa. But when they're fighting up top, Mercedes hits a spider German suplex off the top. And this looked nasty. Just crushing Thunder
like
here.
Landing on her neck here.
So the spider is when you do it, but then you are still hanging by your like legs, and then you can climb back up on the turnbuckle. Makes total sense.
I always think about Daniel Bryan in that match against Cena at SummerSlam. Like that's the whenever I see this move, I think of that specific match. But yeah, it makes way more sense. Why are you taking a back bump? Just wrap your legs.
Well, there's then an elbow drop off the top, but Thunder kicks out at 2. There's then more strikes and weapons, and then just all these piles of chairs when there's the Fire Thunder driver. 1, 2, 3. Thunder Rosa beats Mercedes. There is a little bit of an angle after, but there is a respect angle after. I guess I'll say that what happens. Well, there's a respect angle where Thunder raises Mercedes' hand like, "Hey, you did good there. That was pretty violent. That was a brawl." When out comes Britt Baker with the crew, and they're beating up on Thunder now. When Britt asks John Kreese, "Hey, what should I do now?" What she says, and Sensei Kreese says, "Finish her." So Britt does the cutthroat motion, and that's when there's a bigger beatdown. They give the pipe to Mercedes, but she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to beat Mercedes. She doesn't want to beat Thunder with it. So Britt, Reba, and I'm
Jamie
blanking
Hager.
on Jamie Hayter. That's right. Beat down on Mercedes and Thunder Rosa now, laying them both out. But damn, sweep the leg from Mr. Kreese here. What did you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. Thunder Rosa, she gets such a great reaction every time from this crowd. She looked awesome in her kind of Kill Bill gear here. And I thought these two really brought it. Thunder Rosa, whenever she's in these no DQ matches, does some pretty crazy stuff. And I thought they noted she's now 40-2 in her rankings. So
wow,
only 2 losses in her whole time in AEW. It's got to be one of the best records there. So clearly this is the match at Revolution. Finally, the rematch between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. But I think you give the title to Rosa at this point. I think it's time. I think she is so popular at the moment. I think you can have a nice tag match on Dynamite next week with Rosa and Martinez against Britt and Jamie. But I really enjoyed this match, actually. I thought there was some really, really fun spots in here.
Yeah, I liked anytime I've ever seen Mercedes, whether it be her short stint in WWE NXT, but the indie stuff was always pretty good. But yeah, Thunder's on this role. I do think she should take the title from Britt at this point. Britt can always win it back eventually and down the line or so, but strike while it's hot. Strike this Thunder,
I think
lightning strike.
You've already got another feud ready for Britt. So if she loses the title, she can blame Jamie and you can go to that match because tension's been brewing between those two. And that doesn't necessarily have to be for the title. So I think it's something that AEW are trying to do now is have women's feuds that aren't about a championship. We've seen it with Serena and Shida. And I think that's something you could do. Have Rosa have a title run and go off and face some other different people. And Britt and Jamie start their feud properly. And Britt now blaming Jamie for losing the gold.
Yeah, and I do like seeing Cobra Kai just hanging out here for no real reason. Britt in a Cobra Kai shirt, just some great plugs here. Too bad you couldn't plug this. I feel like some people would have tuned in to see this guy. I mean, because of this show, like he's gotten pretty popular again. Anyone attached to that show. So, I mean, you could have just been like, hey, I don't know what the plug would be. It's not like the guy's doing judo throws.
I think someone in the Twitch room said they were all at the same convention together. Like they're doing the same convention circuit or something.
Oh, okay.
In Nashville this week, which would have explained Melissa Joan Hart as well. Probably doing a spree thing. There is a huge fuck off spider right under me right now.
Uh-oh.
It's pretty. I'm gonna take a photo, but yeah, continue.
You're not gonna kill it, man.
No. I don't mind spiders, but it's.
I don't want any murders taking place during a podcast.
Yeah,
that'd be unprofessional.
No. That's spiders are good. They kill the nasty things, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of nasty things, we go to the House of Black, and well, it's more video promos here from the two scary tattoo spooky men. And they're talking about how it was awful for someone to put their hands on me. They're going to have snakes everywhere around their skin. They see them tarot cards. They're talking about violence creates destruction. And who we are waiting for, well, we're waiting for history. And you see ever so slightly someone in the back come into the frame, but it's still kind of blurry. So you can't see who exactly it is. But one can believe that there are some talks that it is, in fact, Mr. 205 Live, Buddy Murphy.
Talks that, rumors that he's been in talks with AEW. I'm a big fan of Buddy Murphy, Buddy Matthews. Can't say this House of Black is doing much for me at all, to be honest. But I like when it comes to wrestling. I do enjoy Malachi Black's in-ring. If it is Buddy Murphy joining them, which does kind of make some sense, I enjoy his wrestling, but I'm so over spooky shit and riddles in wrestling. It absolutely does nothing for me.
Yeah, this was really kind of a nothing. I think maybe the fact that he's going to show up on Rampage probably next week then, because next week they announced it's House of Black versus Penta and Pac. I was thinking that Penta and Pac are kind of joining them because we're going to get this evil Penta and this Daredevil Pac. But
he was the Joker again in the match graphic.
Yeah, the match graphic, he's as the Joker because he's just always taking photos while wearing that gear. But yeah, I don't know. I am interested in Buddy Murphy. I think he's awesome. And RIP 205 Live. 205 Dead can be his gimmick now. He's joining the House of Black.
Yeah.
But good stuff. We go to Jay White, who does have a match. They announced that Jay White will face Trent Beretta. And Jay White says, everyone's talking about me after this match. And again, this is where my Fire Stick decided, hey, we're not going to work. So I literally heard him say the one line, Jay White, everyone is talking about me. So I can't tell you what else he said.
Yeah, he's the Switchblade, and he's Jay White, and he's fighting on Rampage against Trent. And
Did you see though, Mr. Shot in the Dark John Cena went to some wrestling this past weekend?
Oh yeah,
Jay White showed up. So if you follow on our socials on Twitter, you'll see Cena doing a little interview, about 40-second interview with Jay White, talking
this is very
about
funny.
Someone in our post wrestling UpNXT community, Eric Marcotte, who just loves Jay White so much that he's actually his favorite wrestler. So Cena went and got him to kind of give him a little video shout out. It's just great. Just Jay White just spreading the love to the people. You got
What a good guy, that Jay White.
Yeah, he is. He's
working
he's
multiple angles at the moment.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'm on Jay White's side, because Eric Marcotte is actually, he might be an MMA reporter for Post Wrestling, but he is a target.
He's got something
for
we
us,
want,
Dave.
doesn't he?
Yeah, because Eric Marcotte is one half of the BDE Tag Team Champions. And at UpNXT Mania, I think it's time we change that. I don't think anyone's actually told his partner, Nate, that we've laid down this challenge. So we should probably let that be clear. Nate Milton, TN8. I know you're one half of these Tag Team Champions with Eric Marcotte. Well, we're taking it from you. So this is it. You heard it here first, boys. We're taking those titles from you at UpNXT Mania. Sorry, Nate. It's nothing personal, but you chose to team with the biggest Switchblade mark I've ever seen, the second biggest Switchblade mark I've ever seen. And, well, it's just not going to work out for you. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the main event of this show, the last match on this show. The TNT Championship is on the line. The champion, who still has both titles, Sammy Guevara. Hey, how did he get those titles?
Beat Cody, didn't he?
Ooh.
No, we still talk about the past in this company. We don't pretend things don't exist. Plenty of Cody.
They did say his
and
name.
we saw
They
Cody.
did say
they showed him beat Cody.
They showed the clip, but they also mentioned like, hey, he beat Cody. But what's weird is every commercial break, I watched it on TBS. Every commercial break has the Go Big Ho show. I almost called it the Go Big Home. Whatever show.
The Go Big show.
Cody's in every clip. So like, damn, that's, Cody did them dirty.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we didn't talk about. Like, I wonder how the network feels about Cody leaving, because that's obviously a big kind of crossover. They've done a lot of crossovers with AEW and the Go Big show and their reality show and stuff like that. I don't imagine Cody will be returning after this season. But yeah, that's a big blow to the network, isn't it?
Yeah. Would you replace Rhodes to the Top with someone else? Danielson
And Brie. Well, Brie is still doing total. She's still got a WWE contract of some sort, I think.
Right.
She?
Mox and Renee.
You could absolutely do.
Yeah. I don't know. Or just not do it. Just document wrestling. I don't know. But I don't.
Well, that's not the
know.
demographic they're going for, is it? Like, that's the thing. They're going for a different demographic. They want to bring in different kind of people. And that's where Total Divas and stuff has been. It's not targeted for you, Braden. You're already watching the wrestling. Like, it's not
I guess
for
so.
you.
I guess so. It's just we've watched maybe 10 minutes of those Roads to the Top, but I think it was because it was Cody and Brandy that made it like just terrible. I have watched Mox and Renee on Total Divas as well. They were pretty funny, but I don't know. I guess they're going to have to come up with something, but we'll see. Yeah, that is an interesting part because not only is he in that Roads to the Top, but he's in the Go Big Show thing, and main event, Sammy, Darby, 1-on-1. Yes, they fought before, but now it's time for the TNT title to be on the line. Darby's won the title before. Can he do it again? Darby, he's got Sting ringside, asks for Sammy's hand here after the bell rings for a sign of respect. They do it. The crowd goes wild, and here we go. There's a bunch of counters as they go hold for hold here, back and forth, flips and flips. There's a double flip from from Sammy, who then eats a drop kick from Darby right away. Sammy fires back, though, with the huge knee to the face, which looked nasty. They go to picture-in-picture as Sammy goes for a moonsault, but misses. No water in the pool. There's then the running senton stinger splash in the corner from Darby, but then they're fighting up top, and there's the Spanish fly off the top. So an avalanche Spanish fly from the Spanish God for a 2 count. Darby comes back and drops Sammy into the figure 4, and then they start doing a slap fight. There's then a bunch of back and forth counters. Then the Last Supper, which is almost setting up for the figure 4, where Darby's we've seen win with this match, but Sammy kicks out of that as well. Darby finally hits the Stun Dog Millionaire Stunner for a near fall. Then Sammy's on the outside. Darby goes for a running suicide dive, but in midair on the outside is caught with a cutter from Sammy.
Great
It
stuff.
reminds me of when Rey Mysterio did it. Remember when Rey Mysterio always does that running bottom
The slide under the
into
ring,
the splash,
under the rope, yeah.
but then Randy countered with the RKO. It looked just like
Very
that,
like
but
that.
this was smooth. Sammy Guevara and Darby are both pretty smooth guys. Sammy puts him on the apron and goes for a swanton off the top, but Darby misses. So Sammy just eats that apron. Darby tries to take advantage and sets up Sammy in the middle of the ring for the coffin drop when he's just kind of standing there and kind of looks over and kind of shrugs his shoulders and goes, what's up? When, oh, hey, Jose shows up, maybe a little late there, to distract the ref when Andrade nails Darby, the kid Darby, with an iPad, which then Sammy doesn't quite really see, I don't think, because he was beaten up and taken down. Sammy gets up to his feet, sees Darby just beaten up, and hits him with the go to hell, just cracking him. I don't know how he does this move, and pins Darby. When after the match, right away, Andrade puts the boots to them, and so does Matt Hardy. The Hardy Andrade family office thing attack these guys, just these 2 guys, as I almost said Impact goes off the air, but that's what this finish felt like. But yeah, Dynamite ends with Hardy and Andrade standing tall, but Sammy retained. What did you think?
Yeah, I really like the match. These two have great chemistry. They were one of the early AEW pay-per-views. I remember. I think they had the first match on the show, which was really great. I could see these guys wrestle kind of once a year for the next however many years. Really good stuff. I love the counter from the Stun Dog into the GTH attempt into the Last Supper was just so smooth. That cutter, as you mentioned, and look, we're building to the pay-per-view. I'm not. Yeah, the finish is. I'd have liked a clean finish to it, but I get what we're doing. We've got a pay-per-view to build, and I'm wondering, are we building for a 3-way for this title? Darby, Sammy, Andrade.
Matt Hardy.
You think it's going to be a 4-way? No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I really hope
I can see us having a tag maybe next week with Andrade and Hardy against these two. But yeah, I'm thinking perhaps we get a triple threat for this title, which could be great between these 3.
I mean, we're already doing the tag team triple threat. So, I mean, you could, but it's just a lot of triple threats. I wouldn't mind seeing Andrade versus Sammy 1-on-1. I think that's a pretty big match, but Darby's kind of getting the short end of the stick. I don't know where you would go with him.
I just feel the story's been for weeks. It's been Andrade building with Darby, and it was only last week where he mentioned his intentions for the TNT title. So that's where, and with Darby kind of being screwed here, I don't know. I feel a triple threat makes the most sense, and yeah, I feel I'd kind of be down to see that. But once again, just don't need to see Matt Hardy at all in any iteration.
He just keeps showing up no matter what. You can't stop Matt Hardy. He does not die. Yeah, I loved the match. I was getting into it, but I was looking at my clock and I was like, oh, it's starting like 1:45 almost. And I was like, okay, like I guess they're not going to get that much time. And I do think that there's a way more solid match out of these two, because these two are amazing. And this one just wet your whistle a little bit. It's like, okay, we're getting some cool stuff here, but these two, if they were given a huge pay-per-view spot, they probably will be in a huge pay-per-view spot 1-on-1 years later. Any of these 4 pillar guys, and I know it's the name they're pushing, but they really are awesome. So I was kind of disappointed with this finish, but we will get this match again someday in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I hope they don't do the tag match at the pay-per-view, because I could just not care about that.
Yeah, I can't see them going that way.
No.
I see that maybe being a TV thing to build to a bigger match. But yeah, I thought tonight's show flew by. And actually, in recapping it, there was a lot I liked. I definitely the highlight for me was Danielson Moriarty, but I did really enjoy the Thunder Rosa Mercedes Martinez match and the main event here, and the inner circle match. I didn't really disappoint me. It is the Hangman thing. I think Hangman Cole just isn't really hitting the way it should, and I think a lot of it has to do with how Hangman has been presented since the Danielson feud. It feels kind of just tucked away in the middle of the card here, where it should be the main focus, and I feel like a broken record here with that. But there just seems to be more interesting things on the show than the title right now, which isn't a bad thing. Like I think there's going to be a lot of good things, but it is going to be your main focus. It should be the main event of the pay-per-view.
It should be given a bigger focus. I mean, you've been saying that, and then last week you were like, "Oh wow, that death match was amazing. This guy's on a great run. This is the best run with all these matches." It's like, yeah, he's had these matches, but they're not doing a great job of maybe focusing on him as like the character, which he was a main focus when he wasn't the champion.
That's
so
the
it's
thing.
like,
I don't necessarily blame Hangman because I think he's capable of it because we've seen him be such a hot thing on that run to Kenny. But I think placement, they keep on putting him in the middle of the show. And I think Punk and MJF is hot already. So I don't think that necessarily needs to be the opening. I think you had him win this war of a match last week, a great match with Lance Archer. I think you kick off the show with that. You have him come out as the champion with his war wounds from last week. It just feels sort of an afterthought, I feel.
I totally get it because you're right. Like this, especially this match, Hangman and Cole sounds like it's such a big match we've been waiting to see in this capacity for a long time, and we're getting it. And it seems like, oh, this is the story. Okay, we're already rushing to get to this. Oh, okay. It's didn't seem quite like a focus, but hey, maybe they'll still pick that up in the next few weeks because Revolution, if that's the way it's shaping to be, Cole Hangman, Punk MJF, dog collar. That ladder match, the 6-way, and Jurassic Express triple threat tag. Yeah. There could be some good matches.
It's going to be a great show. Like the card they're going to put together is going to be fantastic.
100%. I am looking forward to all those matches and matches that they haven't even announced yet. Will Hook be on the pay-per-view? I think it's about time we pay to see Hook. You know, I think he could be in a match.
He's kind of big, like really featured in that poster for the Owen tournament. So I think maybe after Revolution we'll start seeing a bit more Hook maybe in that tournament.
They did mention it briefly.
What have we got? Like we can kind of put it. Hangman Cole, Bryan, Mox, Punk, MJF, Britt, Thunder Rosa, the ladder match and the tag. And maybe a TBS title and the TNT title. So 8 matches. That's probably the card right there. Oh, and Jericho Eddie.
Right. Yeah. That's a pretty stacked card. So
sounds good to me.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good. I will say, if you are listening and you're somewhat in the Toronto area, it looks as if I might be doing a bit of a AEW Revolution watch party somewhere in the city at a bar, it looks like. So follow the socials at upNXT Podcast and join our Facebook group if you haven't already, because I will be sharing some info on that in the near coming, maybe the next week or so. Hopefully it all comes together. But Sunday, March 6th, we are going to be doing something. So if you are in the area or Ontario, drive up. Don't fly in for it, but drive up, come hang out, and but yeah, follow the socials and all that at upNXT Podcast, at the Brady for updates, because I want to have some fun, and if I'm allowed to hang out with some wrestling fans and watch wrestling and drink some beers, I'm super excited to do so. So yeah, you guys out there, let me know if you're interested. Slide in the DMs and let me know if you would be interested in something like that, because it will be happening.
Absolutely, yeah. That's going to be great. I know I've seen there's a watch party in London, and I'm not sure if I'm going to go to it or not, because it is quite late, and getting home is going to be a bit of a problem. But I might be trying to go to one in London. But I meant to mention this yesterday, and Flaming Cody Rhodes stole my thunder. But
This is true.
as announced on the British Wrestling Experience last week, I will be hosting a live Up Next at the British Wrestling Podcasting Isn't Dead in Leeds on April 3rd, Mania weekend. And yeah, tickets are available right now. Go and check out kind of Martin Bushby's Twitter and the lads at Grapple, because tickets are on sale at the moment. And yeah, I'll be hosting a bit of an Up Next there. I'm thinking maybe kind of night one of Up Next Mania, we could have a bit of a kickoff match at the show in Leeds. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I know Fucked Up are playing
match.
in... Yeah, have an actual match. I know Fucked Up are playing in Leeds that day as well. So you could always come to the live podcast, hang out with us, finally get to speak and have a beer in person. Maybe then go and see Damian Abraham's band, Fucked Up, and then go off to Walkabout after, where Hooked on Wrestling are presenting night 2 of WrestleMania. So should be a fun weekend, and so start getting your plans together. I'm going to be making the trip all the way up to Leeds and getting a hotel and everything, and it would be awesome to see as many of you as possible for that big weekend.
There you go, guys. You got to follow us on the socials and stuff to see if you are in either of those areas or interested in any of this. Follow us and let us know that you'll be attending and stuff, and follow, because we'll be posting links to the tickets and all that stuff. And yeah, as soon as the world is sort of opening up more and more and more for us, then hell yeah, we want to do
this. Is something we've wanted to do for ages. Like you and I did that show for SummerSlam in Toronto, and we've been wanting to do it since. So it's awesome that you're getting to do this, knock on wood, the Revolution watch party. And then once I'm back in May, hopefully for a lot of these events, we'll be able to start kind of piggybacking off them and doing watch parties in bars in Toronto and things. So definitely, if this is something that interests you, let us know and come hang out, because they're all going to be fun. Whatever side of the pond you are, you'll get to hang out with one of us guys.
There you go. Yeah, I will be doing a WrestleMania one, I think, this Sunday, night 2, I think, as well. But yeah, follow us, guys, and stuff if you will be interested. And hey, we would love to, because as cool as these virtual watch-alongs and streams and stuff are, we would love to do these in person and just have a ball, have a riot. So follow the socials for updates, especially in the next week or so, because there will be a lot. But we appreciate you guys listening to us talk about Dynamite. Of course, you can support us even more. Patreon.com/upnext. All the podcasts are out there. We just did our Boba Fett, our No Way Out. All the shows are up there. And of course, ProWrestlingTees.com/upnext for all of our t-shirts and hoodies and all that jazz. Shout out everyone who joined us tonight in the Twitch room. As always, every Tuesday night, we talk about NXT. We record it, put it up here on the podcast, on the free feed, and then do the same thing on Wednesdays. We'll be back next week to talk all about some AEW, but all the podcasts, again, follow us and all that jazz. I myself, Braden Herrington, you can find me on Twitter, and I am on Instagram. I'm at the Bray D.
And I am at Davie Portman.
I have to say, quick happy birthday shout out to A1 MJ from NJ and our man Neil.
Yeah, happy birthday to you two.
Both legends.
Both legends in the Up Next universe. So thank you guys for everything, and happy
all the
birthday
love
to you, lads.
XOXO. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And Nashville chicken isn't overrated.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.